Hey guys, Omni here. We are about to check out the final season of Better Call Saul. I know we haven't covered the rest of the show up to this point because honestly, this was a show that I've been watching on my own for a long time, even before we had the channel. So I didn't even think to cover this, before when I was watching it and catching up on all of it. Breaking Bad itself is one of the shows that I absolutely think is the closest to a perfect form of television that I've ever seen. I watch it almost annually from beginning to end. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's in my top 5 shows of all time. And Better Call Saul, when it was announced that they were going to be doing a spinoff around the character, I wasn't sure. I had my doubts. Did we need to keep milking the Breaking Bad mythos? Did we need to keep in those waters after everything they had just done? Wrapping up a very close, book-ended series of events that they've been building up to. It didn't overstay its welcome. It ended on its own terms. It got to the destination it wanted to get to, and it was brilliant. And Saul was a great character. Bob Odenkirk really, this launched him beyond his comedic framework into general populace, man. And he's just kind of blossomed ever since. It's been a fun ride, man. And a whole thing about it, from the perspective of him becoming a lawyer, how he becomes the sleazebag that we know and love in the prime days of the series. I wasn't too sure, I wasn't too sure how they'd keep it interesting, how they keep it upbeat, how they'd kind of keep you on the hook for what is essentially a show about lawyers. And holy crap, did I underestimate them when I should not have. Vince Gilligan and his team, from the old school X-Files days to here, he keeps on winning me over at every turn. And yeah, man, it's been a ride, especially last season as we get closer and closer to the beginnings of Breaking Bad proper, as we get caught up with Saul. We've seen the transformation from Jimmy McGill into Saul Goodman, and it's just going further and further as everything with the cartel is starting to escalate and escalate. We're seeing the beginnings of Gus and his empire. We're seeing the beginnings of these feuds that intertwine, that Walt and Jesse end up getting themselves right in the middle of. And it's bubbling over, man. Especially considering the way that last season ended. It's... Man, the waters have never been so treacherous as they have been up until this point in the show. So I'm worried for Kim. I'm worried for everybody. I'm very curious to see how Jimmy's present day is going to fulfill itself. Like, where is that going to go? We've seen him at the Cinnabon. We've seen him, struggling to, at least, especially in this last season, bury that identity as he's now been recognized. And, he's missing that sort of life. So what's he going to do? Is he going to bubble over as well? I don't know, man. It's keeping me on the edge of my seats. I'm excited to dive into this, and we'll be sharing our reactions with you guys, assuming AMC plays ball. I have had some issues with them in the past with Walking Dead, but this past season of The Walking Dead, they've actually been pretty chill about a lot of things that we've been doing on the channel. So hopefully that follows suit here. So guys, that all said, we're going to go ahead and jump into this. So if you're part of the 62% of people that are watching the channel and you've not yet subscribed, or maybe you're tuning in for the very first time here today, if you enjoyed this reaction, I hope you stick around. I hope you hit that like button. I hope you hit that subscribe button. And it really does help us out at the end of the day. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see the full-length unedited reaction of this episode or any of the previous ones or any of the other shows we cover here on the channel, you can check those out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, it gets you access as well. Just helps support the channel, helps us grow and expand and improve the reactions that come your way. Try to make it worth your while with a bunch of little exclusive details over there for you guys. But of course, I know not everybody can do that, and a simple way you can help us out is just by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing these videos, because it really does help us with a YouTube algorithm and growing the channel. That all said and down the way, guys, let's hop into Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 1, Wine and Roses. Here we bunch of ties. It's all the muted colors as the Saul Goodman comes out, and all these flamboyant, colorful Flamingo-like ties. Is this where Jimmy's lived all this time? Is this like his actual home? Because I don't think we've actually ever seen where Saul holes up. Skipping on that shady ass office while he lives like this. Is that am I playing? Oh my god, dude. Am I right? Because this has got to be like our present day cold open, I would imagine. Well, not present day, because we're long past that. But like, lawyer up. Where are we? It's his car being taken away. It's all of his possessions getting re-opped. This has to be like once everything with Walt kind of broke.
Adentro en la cocina.
Nacho, you are in some deep dookie right now, man.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I don't know. I crossed the river maybe an hour ago.
Anybody see you?
No.
Keep it that way.
For a lot of people that might be unfamiliar, or you know, you've been around the channel for a little while, maybe you're just watching this for the first time, or maybe you just didn't even realize it, but 2 people so far we've seen already are in the MCU. It's think about that post-credit scene in Homecoming right here. And then Lalo, you might recognize from Hawkeye. I feel so bad for Nacho, man.
Don Eduardo, ¿está bien?
Tuve un accidente. Perdón por la molestia.
Le ofrezco azúcar o crema.
No, así está bien, gracias. Ay, delicioso.
No, I don't know the story here.
So, what's on the agenda?
Well, I just got 20 new clients from Grant, so I had meetings with 4 of them this afternoon and a preliminary hearing with Flaherty first thing, juvenile. Do you have any cash for the taxi?
Think the cabbie will break 100?
Oh, damn, she made it in there. How damn. Holy crap. Nice shot. Oh, man. So many little things, man.
Good morning, Don Juan. Lalo Salamanca is dead. Gunmen broke into his hacienda last night. Hired operators from the look of it.
But who did this?
One minute I hear talk of the Colombians, the next, traitors. Ignacio Varga is a rat. Don Eladio has put a price on his head. Every man we have is searching for him. When Varga's found, we'll know who he was working for. You must be careful, Gustavo. This is a dangerous time. No.
I understand.
He was already wounded when he talked to our cutout. Federales found him dead at the scene.
The mercenaries are dead to a man. And yet, their mission was a success.
Doesn't quite add up now, does it?
I am asking for an emergency hearing to alter the terms of De Guzman's release.
I checked your client's place of residence. The address he gave, it's a Dairy Queen in Altamonte. The family that showed at the bail hearing can't be located.
I think the family was fake, and I think you knew it the whole time.
Hold up. Let's just get real for a second.
None of that changes the fact the guy's not who he said he was.
No, hold on. You got investigators, you got the whole damn police force, and it's my fault you can't keep track of Lalo? That is not my job!
Lalo?
Ooh.
Who's Lalo?
I meant De Guzman. I have more than one client. I will see you at the preliminary in 6
Oof.
weeks, as scheduled. Until then, I have clients who need me.
That might bite him in the ass, but we'll see.
I was thinking about our first move. On the Howard front?
Yeah, I think he's still processing how okay with all of this Kim has been.
Maybe we start with Cliff, Maine.
So, we're doing that?
Hmm.
The Howard thing. What were you thinking?
You sure?
What's the harm in listening?
And it has to make sense. Doesn't have to stand up in court, but there has to be a reason for everything.
I don't know why, but I half expected once we panned to this window shot, Howard to be just out there just like, I'm watching you. Hand on the glass. God, man, this episode is just so tense. Even when we're not here, like even the tension between Jimmy and Kim is palpable. Man, I love the cinematography in these shows, man. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm at the motel. No one saw me but the lady who runs it.
All right. We're working on getting you out. It's gonna take a couple of days. I'll call you when our guys are set up.
I think he knows how Gus kind of feels about the whole situation, so I think he's trying to like bury his feelings about Nacho at this point. So he's just trying to like block it out, tune it out.
Goes back even further than that.
Norman, can I have a sec, please?
Kevin, hey, how's it going?
I'm sorry. I'm sure this will just be a moment.
I'm so sorry, but I've just been reminded that, in fact, we have a 2-year waiting list.
Maybe I could go on the tour anyway? I mean, because I'm here, just in case.
Well, unfortunately, we suspended tours for the moment.
All of a sudden.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yes.
Just so I understand, you were going to give me a tour and then you realized you don't need new members? Goodman, the name. The second you heard it, everything turned on a dime. Waiting list. I think you're talking about an exclusion list.
Oh, get wrecked.
There's no question.
Here it is, folks. Anti-Semitism alive and well right here in Albuquerque.
Sir!
Damn well, that's not what I meant.
In this day and age, I'd hoped and prayed we'd be beyond this.
You're about as Jewish as my Aunt Fanny.
5,000 years and it never ends. Do you at least have a bathroom that I could use, seeing as how my stress like that is hell on my diverticulitis? I want you to know I don't blame you personally. I know you were just following orders. It's okay, folks. I'm leaving. All is well.
What is the plan? I love watching the behind the scenes for these shows, man, between Breaking Bad and this, and how they like establish certain shots, how they like have to build these elaborate little like rigs specifically to get these specialized shots that we see all the time, like that right there. Because from the other angle, you wouldn't be able to even see that, so it has to be just from that angle for that specific moment. It's like so many unique ways they just innovate for the art itself, man. Oh, great. They're wrapping up early. Yeah, nah.
Fair enough. Howard? What? This can't be.
Sure looks like it.
Really? Los mío.
Hector, are you awake? You have another telephone call.
¿Me escucha? ¿Reconoce mi voz? ¿Le dijeron sobre el atentado, tío? ¿Prueba? ¿Prueba? ¿Eso es lo que quiere decir? No, tío, no. No hay ninguna prueba.
I was gonna say, I was like, them knowing or getting proof that it was him would kind of throw a wrench into certain things, wouldn't it?
I changed my mind. I'm not going. Lo siento, pero van a tener que encontrar otra manera de llegar al norte.
Man, what's the play? He's not going. He's not leaving. Like, is he holding out hope to catch Nacho? He's going away from the border. Dude, holy Nikes, man. That was such a good episode. Oh, that was such a great reintroduction into the series, man. Oh, man. After the wait, that was so good. Just seeing, like, everything as it's bubbling over on all fronts. Man, I feel so bad for Nacho, dude. How he got into the situation. He's like one of my favorite characters in this show, man. Oh, him having to drink out of that pipe water. It just hurts, dude. And then just seeing the desperation throughout. Lalo, though, he's something else. He's a survivor, at least for now. And we've talked about this before, at least in the trailer reaction for the season a little while back. Their fates are undetermined, inconclusive from what we know in Breaking Bad as well. Because all we know is that at least Saul is not aware of their fates. For all he knows, Ignacio, Lalo are still in the wind. They're still out there. So that doesn't mean they survive, but it at least lets us know that they could do whatever they want with these two, and it can be the truth. They could be killed off in the desert, and Saul just doesn't know any better, and he's always afraid Lalo might come back after him. Or they could be out there. You never know. But one thing that would... Lalo can't succeed is what I'm kind of hung up on at this point. So he's like, I gotta find proof, because like that's the whole thing. Like he's felt off about Gus this whole time. He's suspected as much that Gus has been involved in all of these things, but like Tio said, he has not had proof. And with everything that their family has been through up to this point, they need that proof to turn Donnie Audio against them and get this whole situation under control, but they can't. it doesn't happen. We know that doesn't happen. Because otherwise, why would Crazy 8, why would Tuco be peddling their stuff? Because as far as I know, they were, as far as I can remember, I mean, I don't think it was ever 100% established that, maybe I'm misremembering, it's been a little while. But, I mean, Tuco was, no, we even see it in this. Their whole family is tied into Gus's and this cartel's ring. Because they're all working for the same larger organization. Gus has just kind of cut out his own little corner. So, well, no, I think they had different territories is what it was, because they expanded. They took over Tuco's. They worked with Tuco, took out Tuco, and then they started trying to peddle their own stuff, and then they tried to expand, and that's when Gus got brought into it because they were in Gus's territory. But we know that they have this relationship anyway, because it just feels like if there was proof there wouldn't be this peace. There wouldn't be just, you know, right down the road, Tuco is just, you know, doing his thing, and Gus is over there doing his thing. And then we don't know what Lalo did to that family that brought him in, treated his wounds, was offering him food. He broke apart those scissors, and we don't know what happened there. He walked away. He made it to the border here before he made his decision to turn back around. I mean, we'll see where that goes. Now, Jimmy almost messed up, though. Like, when he was selling his little lie about Lalo and all of that, and when he said Lalo's actual name and not the one that they've been using as a cover, his alias, while he was here. Almost backfired, but he finessed that way, finessed himself out of that situation, but almost blew it, man. We're still seeing like the budding Saul Goodman come out of this, but we're seeing that evolution as well. But throughout this, especially with the guilt and the frustrations of everything that's gone before, and then seeing how he's kind of corrupted Kim, how she's going down this path that honestly she probably would have never considered until she got really deeply involved with Jimmy. And he's like second guessing this at every turn, this whole way to take down Howard. And you can just see it in his responses to everything. Like, she's like, all right, we're going to do this, right? Here's my plan. I've been thinking about this all day. And he's just like seeing her throw away everything that she kind of was before. And while she is kind of, in essence, kind of living her best life now, she's not doing all this giant corporation coddling bullshit that she's been doing all this time up till now. She's trying to do good and help people that need the help. You know, like this kid she was talking about that's getting set up for this whole thing, this whole robbery thing that this rich kid pulled him into. You know, she's helping people. But at the same time, her morals are loosening, and it's kind of Jimmy's fault. I mean, she makes her own decisions. She's responsible for herself, but Jimmy's kind of dragging her down into this whole situation, even though, and it was her that really saved his ass with Lalo when Lalo came back up there the last time. Was all like trying to be all accusatory of the whole situation. And that was another one of those situations where Jimmy kind of did play a part in it. But she wordsmithed their way out of that. And it was a badass moment, man. And I like Kim so much, man, and I don't know what's going to happen. I cannot recall an instance where she's mentioned in Breaking Bad. And it just makes me a little unsettled as to where or what might happen to her. But their whole little scheme of breaking into that country club and then running into the one douche that Kim was working with before about the property dispute, I'm pretty sure that was the same guy. Catching him out and calling him out, and then of course Saul pulling it and flipping it into this whole anti-Semitism thing. Oh, brilliant. Great stage play. And then planting the baby powder in Howard's locker, just enough to sow those seeds of doubt between peers. And I think that's all they really needed to do. They just needed to make sure the one dude who he was playing golf with saw that. Like they said, it needed to be subtle. Didn't need to hold up in court, but it needed to be enough to instill doubt and distrust. Perception goes a long way, friends. Great cinematography as always. Brilliant writing. The tone, the music, everything. Perfection. Guys, I can't wait to see the next episode. So we're going to go ahead and dive into this. They did release 2 of these right out of the gate, so I'm going to go ahead and watch the second one. And I'll try to have this to you guys real soon. So keep an eye out. If you haven't already, subscribe. Join the conversation in the comments. Join our conversation in the Discord. Links to those on all my socials are down below. If you want to see the full-length reaction, remember it's on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access as well. Just helps support the channel and all that jazz. And speaking of, before you go, I want to shout out our channel legends. Manny Sherritt, Ryan Karen, Philly Vane, Yorick, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Mary Bradley, Nate Prouty, and Melita. Thank you guys, as always, for your continued support. And everybody who's tuning into this one, I don't know how this is going to go on the channel. It is a little bit new. Something we haven't really touched on too much. But I hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you support it. Hope you stick around. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Better Call Saul. Take care, everybody.